You'd think that with hostages in coffins, Hamas would at least return their bodies with a shred of decency. But no. Before we get to this, we'll note that the families have requested that these pictures not be shared. The problem? The international media are sharing them anyway, without context. So while we'll do what we can to show less, we'll make sure you understand the truth they're leaving out. Let's start with the stage. Hamas set the stage for the world to witness the grotesque spectacle. This time, a giant anti-Semitic caricature of Israel's prime minister cast as a blood-soaked vampire, blaming Israel for the deaths of hostages they took. Hostages who would be alive today if Hamas hadn't attacked Israel on October 7th and taken them from their beds. Hamas is solely responsible for their deaths. The terrorists who took the Bibas family hostage were even in attendance and gave an interview to the press. On one side of their propaganda stage was a banner showing the unverified casualty figures. On the other, an illustration of a Palestinian terrorist deeply rooted to the land, a message aimed at two very different audiences: President Trump and the pro-Palestinian protesters in the West, who paint them as oppressed natives resisting an invading force. Then came their most grotesque twist. They called the hostages prisoners in coffins, and it didn't stop there. They paused their usual celebratory music to deliver a message in English, a message designed to be broadcast by the international media. In it, they framed themselves as powerless victims while openly admitting to using human shields and recruiting child soldiers.
Fighting to the last bullet and breath with our used and rusty second-hand AK-47.
As for the rusty AK-47s they brandished for dramatic effect, we didn't see any of those. Instead, we saw more of the Israeli weapons they looted during their October 7th massacre. Then came more of their message for President Trump.
How about you go kiss the statue of liberty's ass? You think we leave our homeland?
And finally, the hostage handover to the Red Cross. In a rare moment of moral clarity in advance, the Red Cross had attempted to enforce a basic humanitarian principle. They asked Hamas to avoid degrading the hostages. It didn't happen. Hamas insisted on parading the coffins. The Red Cross folded down the privacy screens as quickly as they went up, concealing nothing. A perfect metaphor for how ineffective the Red Cross has been for over 500 days. Hamas didn't tone down their brutality. The media just chose not to focus on it.